Howdy everybody. Today I'm going to try to cover a topic which I've attempted to in the past. There is an issue with Android navigation. So, as manufacturers have tried to minimize bezels, increase screen real estate, they really want to make use of that increased real estate. Now, companies like Google are trying weirder interpretations of this, but Samsung over here is doing something that makes sense. Now, we'll go into here on my phone. You'll see that there are no buttons. Now we'll go into the settings and I'll show you where you can change this. The navigation bar gives you two options. So you can either set it to have buttons, your traditional buttons. So if you don't mind having a little bit less usable screen, feel free to do that, but full screen gestures make a lot of sense. So instead of tapping on the buttons, what you're actually doing is swiping up from where they would normally be. So in order to go home, you just swipe up from the center of the bottom. In order to go to recents, swipe up where that would normally be and back, same thing. That's probably the simplest thing that they could have possibly done so that it made sense to the widest audience. Now, it works and it works well, but there's some things that I've been using for a while that give me a little bit of extra things that I can do with it. So now I will show you the third-party application I've been using for a couple of years now called Edge Gestures. Now here you can enable a couple of different zones. The only ones I actually care about are the left and right, just because Samsung has already taken care of the bottom. What I have set are the main navigation. So if I swipe down from either of the red sides, it will go home. If I swipe up, it'll go into the recents. If I swipe into the screen, it will perform a back button action. So this makes a lot of sense. I think the animations look and feel like they belong with those sort of gestures, but there are a couple of extra things that you can do. So one of the things that I like to do is the pull and slide. So if you pull in from either side and swipe up or down, you can trigger the brightness. So you can edit your brightness, you can change it up, change it down in a really simple way. So as long as you have your screen unlocked, you can do it really without looking, and that's the beauty of it. So if you're coming out of a dark office into the bright, sunny daylight, as long as you have your screen unlocked again, you can just swipe up, swipe in, swipe up, and it just makes so much sense. The other one that I use a lot is to go to your previously used application. Before, you could just double tap the recents key, but since that's not really here, what I have set is a swipe in. So depending on what side you're on this side, it would be swipe right and then left, and on the right side it would be swipe left and then right. So do that and it'll just quickly switch to your last used application. And it just feels great, it makes a lot of sense, and it's a really quick way to switch between your two most used apps, or your most recently used app, I should say. That covers most of the basic idea. You can go in here and edit quite a lot, to really customize this. One other one that I use that I'm not going to directly show, if you hold any of those areas, I have it set to open an application. In this case, it's my email app. I don't want to be bothered to have to blur all the information, so I just won't open it. But you can set that to, you could probably set that to open your camera, any really frequently used social media application, really anything. And if you go in, you can really do even more with this. Once you figure out what you actually want to happen, I'd start messing with the thickness over here in the common area. You're probably going to want the thinnest possible area that you can while still being usable. So you don't want to miss your actions, but you don't want them to get in the way of any other application. I believe by default, I think the tap action is set to disable that area for a set amount of time, and that works, but I'm just so used to them now, I don't really bother with that setup. But if you're just starting out, it would probably not be a bad idea. Okay, that covers it mostly. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment down below, and hopefully this made some amount of sense. I'll try to post a couple other things that I've been using a ton on this Note 10, but if you have any questions or anything you want to see from this, Let me know. I know it's been out for a few months, but I just keep finding things that I feel I should share with y'all. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Bye.